One of the most radical things you can do is really listen to someone. This is a quote by Katrina vanden Heuvel. She's a Democratic columnist for a number of different media platforms, including the Washington Post. Through this quote, it's obvious that she thinks listening is very powerful, and she utilizes her platform as a columnist to get her point across and show that her opinions are meaningful and that they're best for the country. She does this through ethos, pathos, and diction. First, she uses ethos. So in one of her articles, she talks about how Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren went and spoke to colleges about their opinions and like what they believed was right. This establishes her credibility because it shows that her and her like fellow people are making efforts to really try and do better for the country. So then she uses the tool of listing. She talks about everything that she thinks is wrong with President Trump's plan for the United States, and she puts this all in one sentence, and this really helps to show that she has like reasoning, or she has reasons for what she has reasons for what her beliefs are, and it shows everything that she's going to talk about, and that really establishes her credibility and makes it seem like she actually has reasoning and she's not just making things up. So next, she uses diction. So Katrina vanden Heuvel, she tries to convince her audience. She uses a cause and effect sentence, and she basically is saying like, with Republicans in office, Democrats don't really have anything that they can do about it. And this really helps to convince her audience that there's no way out and that they really need to agree with her. So then she uses a metaphor, and she talks about how, like, she says something along the lines of, I have it right here, much more concerned about kitchen table issues. So this is basically making a connection with her audience and establishing that it has a little bit of sarcasm in it, but it really helps to establish a connection with her audience and make them understand more what she's talking about. So then she uses amplification through apostrophes. So when she talks about things that she doesn't agree with, she kind of undermines them by using apostrophes, and this helps her audience to also think, oh, you're right, we have to agree with you. Next, she uses wit, and she does the same thing to undermine opposing opinions by using like a little bit of a sense of humor just to show that she's right and there's not really a way to disagree with her. Next, she uses connotations. So when she talks about her opposing viewpoint, she uses negative connotations. And when she talks about her agreeing viewpoint, she uses positive connotations. And this really helps to, once she's established trust with the reader, they start recognizing these negative connotations with President Trump and his plans, and the positive connotations with her beliefs and what she wants for the country. And that really helps to strengthen her argument and persuade her audience. Finally, she uses pathos. So she first talks about inequality and how the tax cut scams will totally help white people, but not help people of other races. And she kind of like makes the reader feel like anyone of another race is oppressed, and it makes them want to fight back. And then next she brings up the touchy subject of she just brings up the touchy subject of immigration, and she talks about how families are separated during immigration, and this really helps to show that she wants the best for her audience, and she cares about family and not separating people, and this really establishes a sympathetic view of hers, and that makes her audience feel cared for and really want to agree with her. So overall, Katrina vanden Heuvel utilizes her rhetoric in her columns to display her opinions and sway her readers. Her rhetoric is based on persuading her audience and making them feel cared for.